Pinball and Maps. Mapping around with Scott and Ryan.
Guess what movie I was just watching?
What movie?
Hook. You remember Hook?
Oh yeah, I love Hook.
Hook is great. What a great movie.
Yeah, it's really like colorful and I don't know, I like the food that pops up on the table when everyone's eating it.
Dustin Hoffman is Captain Hook.
Yeah, with his big eyebrows.
Yeah. Anyway.
Good movie.
What have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Just holiday stuff mostly, and right before this I was just reading Harry Potter.
Which one?
To my kid, the 2 Chamber of Secrets.
Did you see that there's a new Harry Potter coming out? Like with adult Harry Potter?
I thought I saw something about that, but then I kind of wiped it out of my head. It seemed strange. Is it strange?
I think it's a little strange. I mean, I guess it depends on who wrote it. I didn't think there'd ever be an official Harry Potter anymore. Not to get political on you. Hey, do you vote by mail?
I do. Yeah, I fill out my vote by mail, but then I drop it off at a ballot center.
Have you done that?
Yep, I did it last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. We already talked about this. Okay.
Yeah. You?
Yeah, I voted the day after I got my ballot.
Yeah. There's so many like initiatives and stuff, so I had to spend some time researching all that stuff. It took me a little bit.
Any good ones? Ours were all pretty boring.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're mostly pretty boring. I think there's one about more accountability with the city council and stuff in LA, because there's just always a lot of they're getting arrested and investigated by the FBI very often. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to add more in-house resources to do their own investigations, which I applaud.
Wait, so the city council is so corrupt that they have their own, like a new in-house search team for this?
Yeah, like a city of LA team to keep them on the straight and narrow.
I see. Go Dodgers.
Yeah.
What else? Do you play any pinball?
These days I only play once every other week at my league. That's the only time I've been getting out lately is every other Thursday at league. Yeah. So it's not that much. I'd like to get out more often to the places nearby me, or go to like there's other tournaments real close by, but that's it. It's been fun when I go, and I'm doing decently in league so far, considering that I don't practice. But yeah, what about you?
The only game I play now is Who Done It at the Standard. It's the only game I play. I don't even really like it anymore. It's just the only thing I do.
Yeah. Did you figure out who did it?
Yeah, I know who did it.
Oh, okay.
What was I? Oh yeah. Do you listen to music when you play?
No, I don't do any headphones or anything. I'm tempted to do that. I like and bring some Bluetooth headphones and play, but I don't know. Some people do it, and it seems like it probably gets them in the zone, but I just haven't brought myself to it. It just seems like more like crap to fiddle with. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. No, I always take the ambient noise. I figure like people are so, when they get romantic about pinball, they talk about all the different settings on the machines and how like high scores vary between the machines, blah, blah, blah. How about your ambient noise? Like maybe we should factor that into performance.
Yeah. You could kind of, places that are loud or people talking to you could kind of impact it and stuff.
Yeah, it's like playing a sporting event in certain coliseums. It's harder to do your business there, right?
Uh-huh.
I think I'm onto something here. John Stern, if you're listening to this, I think there's something to this. Could even measure the noise, right? My watch does that.
Yeah, like you got a high score 1 in a place with a decibel level of X, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What if you? How's your writing practice? Right? Did you do what is it? NaNoWriMo? Is that November? Or is that October?
Nah, that's
And
yeah, November. But no, writing. I haven't been doing that much writing lately, creative writing or anything like that. I try to chip away at stories here and there, but sometimes it's like pinball map stuff. Doing coding, it's just like the easier thing that's right in front of me almost. Where I know there's a very distinct goal that I need to reach. Oh, there's an issue to fix this one little thing or add this thing. And it's easier just to pull that in front of me and work on that than it is to start being more creative.
I get it. I used to be a professional computer programmer, and I longed for those days again.
Really?
It's a really fun thing to do.
Well, how's your creative writing going?
Oh, it's terrible. It's just terrible. I do a lot of writing, but it's not very creative. My job now is mostly writing, but it's all like technical, but not really. It's not really technical. It's describing technical things, but it's not technical. Anyway, there's no creative writing in my life.
But I guess on that point, you and I have been writing once a week for This Week in Pinball. That's a new thing we've been doing. So if anyone gets that, the newsletter every Friday, there's I don't know, after 5 or 6 weeks ago, we started doing a pinball map location of the week series on there. And so we kind of just go back and forth each week writing about something, some place that's new on Pinball Map.
Does this stress you out at all, this assignment?
No, not so far. I mean, it helps that we can pass it back and forth. Like I feel like if I was stressed, you'd back me up. And then I also feel like Colin wouldn't care, really, if we missed one. So no stress.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
You?
And yeah, I will always back you up. I'm a little stressed out. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little stressed out by it. I agree with you. Every other week is way more manageable, but it feels like there's work to do every week. There's like a ticking clock. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
no, I like it. I like it, and it's sustainable. I just wish I could put more time into it. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yours come across as higher effort than mine, to be frank. I mean, you do a little more research, I think, into the place. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, to your point, like I'm just glad that we're not on the hook to, write an entire newsletter every week or something like that. Like that's something that seems stressful to me. Like just spitting out a couple paragraphs is a lot more manageable.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna keep making mine as long as I possibly can. I want to write more. Yeah,
I wonder if they've gotten any feedback about them. We do kind of double the length of their newsletter with just our location of the week articles.
It's just nonsense.
Yeah.
How do you get the This Week in Pinball weekly post?
Like, how do I get the list? Or what are you talking about?
I was trying to do that thing where I'm like, I don't know the answer to this question, but maybe somebody who's listening wants to get it.
Yeah.
And you can tell us how. Is there a website you sign up at?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Good question, Scott. I think it's just twip@kineticist.com.
Okay. That's enough. That's enough of a trail.
Yeah. That's a trail, and it's a newsletter, so you could get it in your email. We got a voicemail from
what?
Yeah, finally, someone called us. Let's listen to it.
Okay.
Hey Scott and Ryan, I just played a new pinball game tonight, and I thought you might want to hear about it. It's about 5:40 in the morning, And this was a pretty wild new indie game. It's called Knives, and the theme was weird. It's about knife collecting, and the main character on the back glass was the dog from Duck Hunt from the NES game, and it was kind of like a display case of knives under, the glass, and you had to pop up the locking knife blades, and some of them rotated, and yeah, pretty weird game. So yeah, it'd be interesting if anyone else has played this one, if it's out there in the dream world. But yeah, let me know if you've dreamt about a pinball game before. Scene report from my bed.
And it's been listened to. And you all listen to it too.
What'd you think of that?
I thought it was interesting. I think there's a few things there. One, waking up at 5-something in the morning to record something for us is interesting. I never record my dreams with my voice, and then I forget them immediately, like everyone does. So I think Joe's actually told me before that's, he's had a journal where he's tried to write dreams down before he forgets them in the morning. So this seems like on par or whatever, on something, on topic,
on brand
for Joe. And I like that the Duck Hunt dog is on the back glass. That's cool. And I like that it's like a target-based game. That sounds fun. I mean, weird knife collecting is odd, but it's a dream. Dreams are going to have weird pinball machines. What do you think about it?
Joe is a dear friend, and I love Joe. I don't like dreams. I don't like hearing about people's dreams. I'm a real Garfield about hearing about somebody's dream. I don't have patience for it. I just glaze over immediately.
Yeah, that happens with me in books. It doesn't matter if any time a book talks about a dream, I just am like, oh, this doesn't matter. It's never going to matter to the story.
Interesting. Oddly, I will read dreams in books.
Huh.
I'm not saying I'm super interested in them, but to me, they're just as fake as the book. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I sometimes I think about consequences to the plot, and it's rare unless you're reading some sci-fi that dreams are impactful in real life, then the dreams just don't matter.
I see. Yeah, people. I could be kinder about listening to other people's dreams, but I promise I don't tell my own dreams, and if I do, I make sure that I summarize it very crisply. It's like 1 or 2 sentences.
Yeah.
But I do like Joe's dreams because Joe has a lot of dreams, and I think that's beautiful.
Okay, new section here. Well, this is actually, I just meant this to be one sentence, really. A segue to the next section. But this is shout outs, where we've had, and a little twist on shout outs. Usually shout outs are when we're giving a shout out to somebody else, but not this time. This is other people giving shout outs to us. So it's, we flipped it right there.
This is like accolades or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. What's our accolade, or what's our shout out?
So there was one in the last, it's been a couple months, so some things have happened. There was the website called The Verge, popular site for tech and blah, blah. And they had some article where they had Alex Goldman, who was a prior host to wait, what is his podcast? Everyone
What's
knows.
his podcast? Reply All?
Reply All. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll edit that so it sounds really
So it sounds like
crisp.
you knew it?
Yeah. I do know it, and yeah, we both listened to Reply All for years, and they asked him what apps he's into lately, and the first one on the article was Pinball Map, and he had a little paragraph talking about Pinball Map. And then also, I don't know how big this one is, but there was the official Metallica podcast, and I think it was Jody from Stern mentioned Pinball Map on it. And I'm sure there's other people have mentioned Pinball Map here and there, but all this is leading to
Map Tech.
me saying that, there's a price to fame, and the price is money. Like it's actual costs when people visit your site more. And yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so what happens sometimes, and this is harkening back to like many episodes where we talk about map tiles. I know people like map tiles, and so
it's a big topic on this show. We've talked about map tiles a lot on this show.
And unfortunately, map tiles are some weird thing where it gets expensive. No one really thinks or cares about that all. But the more people that visit, there's, we were using Mapbox for the website, map tiles, and the app. And what happens is Mapbox gives you a certain amount for free every month, and then once you exceed it, it escalates in price very, very quickly. And if you get hit with a mention on The Verge or the official Metallica podcast, a bunch of people go to your site that weren't there last month, and then you get escalating costs. And it's no fun. It's no fun to have suddenly a lot more money that you owe. Mapbox was kind enough to give us a discount, but still it really, really adds up. So here's what we did. This is getting into kind of like the site updates for the month. First, I thought, it would be nice to switch to something else. It was like right when this happened, someone posted on Hacker News that there's a service called Open Free Maps for free tile hosting, but you could donate to. So we switched to that for like a day. And then I decided to have a go at a new map protocol called Proto Maps, which uses something called PM tiles as opposed to MB tiles, which we were using previously.
What's the MB for?
Mapbox, actually.
Mapbox tiles.
It was a protocol. Back, they used to contribute a lot to open source, and they don't so much anymore, but that's, it's fine. They made humongous strides in web mapping and made a lot of tools open source for people. And one of them was this vector tile protocol called MB tiles that tons of people use. And somebody else was forking another project that uses another protocol called PM tiles, and they made it easier to use. And it's actually really interesting. Proto Maps is I don't know if anyone knows of the concept of like a GeoTIFF. A TIFF is like an image, like a JPEG or something like that. But a GeoTIFF is like an image that has georeferences encoded into it, so you can embed those into maps of some sort, like an image placed at a correct latitude, longitude in a map. I don't know. Anyway, the Proto Maps kind of uses that same concept where it's one humongous worldwide file, like 120 gigabytes map file that you're then making little, I can't remember what it's called, sub requests or something like that to actually like zoom in and load small bits of tile. So, when people visit your site, they're not downloading a 120 gigabyte file, but they're just doing like sub queries on that gigantic file. It's pretty interesting.
And is it cheaper?
Yeah. So here's the breakdown. So it's really, the thing about it is really easy to host. It's just like you upload it to some S3 compatible CDN basically, and we're using Cloudflare R2. So it's just like it's just a file you plop somewhere. You don't have a server, or any configuration or anything like that. It's just a file sitting there. And with Cloudflare is really cheap, and I can't remember, they charge per request. So it's not even a bandwidth thing. They just charge per request, and it's something like 34 cents per million requests. So anyway,
that's cheap.
Very cheap, super duper cheap. And people are kind of wondering how they can sustain this. But we did get a bill, our first bill, and it was $1.67.
And how much was Mapbox?
Mapbox.
Are we allowed to say?
Yeah, it's fine. It varied. It was with their 75% off they were giving us, it was averaging like $20 or $30 a month, but it sometimes would go up a lot higher than that. Not a lot higher than that. And, up to 50.
During the shout-outs.
Yeah.
Shout-outs. 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, and that's with 75% discount. You can imagine what it would be without that.
Right.
And it's not sustainable for us to have this variability per month and a price that could shoot up so high. So this is a really nice thing. The Proto Maps, we're happy to switch to that and pay $2 a month for tiles. And I was going to write a blog post about it to help folks.
You should.
Yeah.
I thought you were given the fall fundraiser pitch, but it was actually a story about how you did some smart programming and made the bill $1. I would hire you, Ryan.
Ah,
that's a pretty good story.
Thanks. And so other stuff we did on the site, on the website, we added a dark mode. This is something that somebody in the Discord, Damien, I don't know if that's his real name, but suggested that we use this CSS property or something called prefers color scheme, that basically if your system settings on your computer or your phone are set to be dark mode, then it just serves up a different set of colors, essentially. So I did that. I just added...
That's a flag in CSS?
Yeah.
Where does that go? Really?
I'll show it to you later. It's really interesting. And then you could just serve up two different... I think it's like two different arrays of... whatever they're called. Just, in a list of... hex or color
color properties.
Yeah, color properties, and it just serves one or the other. And I even made a separate tile set, or like the style for the tile set, so it serves up a dark mode tiles.
Do you have a preference? Light mode, dark mode?
I'm still light mode these days. Yeah. What about you?
All the time? That's your daily driver?
Yeah.
Full light mode?
Phone light mode, editors and everything light mode these days.
I do dark mode.
I'll probably switch back. Hey, maybe it's good. Maybe it's healthy for us to just go back and forth every once in a while. 6 months
I think
light.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then your brain feels like it's learning new things over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I just like dark mode because it feels like I don't have to really wake up, start doing my job. It's just sort of mellow on the screen.
Yeah. It eases you into life. You barely have to open your eyes. It's right there, not screaming at you.
That's right. Just turn my VR helmet on right in bed.
It's beautiful. All right, a couple other website things. This next one I think is cool. So one thing about like performance on the website, where if you load up a location and it lists, say you have a location with 100 machines, and previously we had it so under every one of those machines there was a lot of buttons, and it's like add comment, show comment, add scores, show scores, pin tips and kineticist buttons, and toggle insider connected button. So that's a lot of buttons underneath every single one of those machines, and all those are unique. You know, they all have unique IDs associated with them because they're referencing different machines. And it's not even about like it being difficult or timely to request the data, like the machine data and stuff like that. It's just loading all these divs, all these little objects takes a lot of time. And so sometimes you might have noticed that it would take a couple seconds to load all these machines at a location. And I thought, oh, it might be, this is something I've been thinking about for years and years. It might be, I really would want it to be faster. And so I tucked all those underneath a single button underneath each machine that just says machine details. And it's kind of the same concept as the app where, you know, you just have a list of machines, then you need to click the machine name to like get the tools for adding scores and comments and stuff like that. And so we get some reports every week about performance, like request times and stuff like that. And guess how much performance improved for rendering that in the week after it was implemented.
So if I understand correctly here, we're not rendering nearly as much as we used to. And then if you hit the button, it'll dynamically load all the stuff that was not there before. Yeah.
It doesn't load until you click the button. And I also I took the opportunity to add backglass imagery behind each one too, taken from Open Pinball Database, because, you know, we would never have wanted those to load automatically like 100 at once. That would be very resource wasteful. So
how big are the images?
I don't know.
50K?
Yeah.
Little thumbnail boys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some medium-sized ones. All right. What's your guess?
Okay. So wait, my question is how much latency did we drop? Like how much load time did we drop?
Yeah. Just like percentage performance improved.
Okay, I'm going to go with percentage of... Man, I can tell you're impressed by this, so it's got to be high.
Yeah.
But if I guess too high and I'm wrong, then it makes it look not as impressive, right?
And that makes me feel bad.
So I kind of exactly. So I kind of have to go low. There's no way it's lower than 50%. I will say it's a 52% speed increase.
Well, according to Scout APM, it was 93%. Speed increase.
Wow. I was going to say 80% was my first hunch, but I thought maybe that was too high. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of unreal. I was like, what? Just hiding, you know, loading one button instead of 6, 7 or something like that times 100. It makes a big difference.
I feel like I haven't really seen a big location in a while here. I'm on the Portland map right now. I'll go to Next Level.
Yeah.
Right? Which is probably our biggest boy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how it goes here. That was fast. 317 machines.
Yeah, it's fast. And, you know, there's caching too, but yeah, it's that caching helps, but totally.
I like this old little map footsteps loading image. I forgot that one. I don't often see it. I remember when we put that in. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's our custom loading animated GIF.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, this is a big improvement.
Yeah, and then also, as you see, I changed those other buttons. Like, you know, we had the stacked buttons that said add picture, add machine, and former machines and recent history or activity or something like that. And those were all, you know, big old buttons stacked on top of each other. And I changed those to little round ones that are horizontally laid out. So, yeah, just overall nice UI refresh this month.
Very cool. Oh man, they have Austin Powers at Next Level. I used to play that at is it Tiny's or Junior's over on Hawthorne? Do you remember that place?
Tiny's, the coffee shop. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What else did you do?
I called you for for a scene report. Do you get that?
What? No, let me hang on a second.
Dude, you
Man,
gotta
that's
check your
weird.
voicemail.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on call. I'm on call for work this week too. Like if your voicemail got through, that's not good for my job.
No.
Oh crap, here it is now.
Oh,
Hang on.
okay. Yeah, listen to it. Hey Scott, I'm at Ace Gogi Korean Barbecue and Pinball in Van Nuys, California. Van Nuys is a neighborhood in Los Angeles in the San Fernando Valley. I was born a couple miles from here. I come here every other week for Pinball League. And these days, it's actually one of the only times I play pinball. But I get here early, I get some food. I don't do the full Korean barbecue thing. I instead, I usually go for hot bibimbap with some lemon pepper chicken and a beer. And I get here early enough to have some practice games, so I'm not totally rusty by the time league starts. I think there's 25 machines here. As noted, it's a Korean barbecue restaurant. The whole front is a very popular restaurant where you cook your own food. Like you order different meats and they give it to you uncooked. You cook it on these little grills in the middle of the table. I've been here a bunch. I've come here with Danny. I've come here with my family a bunch, and it's really fun. It's fun to cook. It's really fun to kind of get different flavored meats, and it comes with lots of different sides and stuff, and cook them to your liking. And one of the things I like about it is that there's no grains really. So you could eat a ton and you don't really feel bad afterwards. You don't feel bloated or overly full. You feel pretty good. Ace Kogi has a lot of like launch parties and lots of they always get the newest machine by any new manufacturer. You know, they got barbecue. I'm looking at Elton John and Labyrinth and Avatar and Uncanny X-Men right now. Pulp Fiction, seem to get it all. Tonight at League, it's a costume party, and I did not bring a costume. Last year I wore a wizard hat, which was like maybe 1/8 of a costume. This time I could not get it together to put a costume together. So, there's machines in the front here as well as the back. The back is like a bar, and the front is a waiting area where people are often waiting. And there's 8 machines up front. It's a lot of pinball here. They also have another location, West Hills, which is in the west part of the San Fernando Valley, and I've never been there. That's about it. This is a bar, but there's 2 like 8-year-olds in here right now. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that. But there's no one else really in here because I got here so early. Pretty soon there'll be 60-some people here in this league. It's a big, big league. I always bring home gyoza at the end too. I right when the kitchen's about to close at 10, I get a gyoza order in to go. Or else my family will say I don't care about them because we like to have it as leftovers next day. One time I went to a tournament at another place and it was a potluck, and Shane, the co-owner here, brought like a giant tin full of gyozas, like 200 gyozas sitting in there. And I ate a lot of them. They were incredible. I asked him what sort of dip it was, what sort of sauce. And he said, oh, that's gyoza sauce. All right. Talk talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Incredible, right?
That is incredible. I love a good scene report. How about this? How did you feel while making the scene report? Did it come naturally to you, or did you feel a little, I don't know, on edge?
There's pressure to say good stuff in a compacted amount of time. I guess it's just like the same pressure you feel on a podcast, like right now. I ordered food and then I was just pacing around and pretending I was talking on the phone. So
yeah,
it worked out. No one looked at me and thought I was doing anything strange. So that helps kind of relieve the pressure.
Do you ride your bike to this place?
No.
How far away is it?
No.
Much farther.
This is one of the faraway places. This is in the valley, and it's a long drive. It's like 50 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that far. It's just getting there is always during the evening rush hour, and so it's tough. It's a tough drive.
What's the bus system like in LA? Like if you were to take a bus to this place, how long? Is it impossible to take a bus there?
No, it's not impossible. I don't know. There's light rail that goes pretty close to there. So I would probably try to get to the light rail, like the subway. It's a subway there at that point, and gets off at like the North Hollywood station, and then I would take a bus over to Van Nuys. So it might not be that bad actually if I could get that working. But that I think I'd have to go to like the red line, and I'm not that close to that line. So it'd be, I'd have to be from Gold Line to Red Line to Hollywood Station. It wouldn't be great, but they are opening some BRT bus rapid transit corridor that's going to be really close to me, and that will then go through, I don't know, it'll go to North Hollywood at least. So that'll be actually a pretty fast route because they'll have signal priority and I think some of their own lanes and stuff like that. So
very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, keep me updated. I love a good bus ride.
Yeah, I mean it. Lee gets out at like 11 o'clock usually, so I don't think I'd ever actually take the bus there.
Okay, don't keep me updated.
No,
I'm not interested.
Yeah. All
right, Ryan, quiz me.
All right. Okay. So
I know you got something.
You know it. So let's see this one first. Okay. So a lot of cities, I think you and I have noticed, have some similar road names in them. I know Portland has Broadway, and LA has Broadway too. We have a Broadway in downtown LA. Portland, do you have Main Street there?
Yes, we do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We got Main.
All right. Yeah. And LA has Main too. So those are the only main streets I could think of, like, downtown corridor type names, like the names everyone knows that if you're going downtown, if you're going in a city and you see Main Street, you usually know like you're downtown if it's an unfamiliar city. And I think it's probably understood that, if you're starting a pinball place, you want to be in the thick of it. You want people to come and have some walking traffic. So you're going to want to be situated on a Broadway, on a Main Street, what have you. So I thought I'd quiz you on how many pinball map locations are on Broadway and how many are on Main Street. And which do you think has more?
Wow. Okay. Am I allowed to look up total number of locations on the map today?
Yeah, you could. That's it. That's all you could do.
Hang on one second. Okay, looks like 10,876 locations as of this record.
Wow.
How many of them are on Main Street? Well, let's see. I'm going to drop I'm going to drop a quarter of these because I don't think there's a lot of main streets outside USA. I think they have different names. That might be wrong. I hope that's not wrong. So that brings me down to, say, 7,500 locations. Now, how many of those locations are on Main Street. I would guess in a major city, you'd have 2 to 3 on Main and 2 to 3 on Broadway. Let's call it 4. There's 80 something major cities in the USA, so that's 320. 320 sounds low, so I'm going to bump it up to 500. I'm going to say there are 500 pinball locations that are either on Main or Broadway.
Wow, that's actually pretty amazing, Scott. Like you broke that down and you got really close.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Did I really get close?
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, on Main Street, just Main Street, there's 492.
Okay, that was going to be the follow-up question, though. Well, now I know that 492 on Main.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
what about Broadway?
Broadway is 131.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't like an order of magnitude off there.
Yeah. I was surprised that Main Street blew away Broadway by that much.
I was definitely going to guess that Main Street has more because you left coast elite. Main Street USA, baby. There's got to be a million of them out there.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Driving through the middle of the country, if you've got a bar or restaurant, it's probably on Main Street.
Yeah, Broadway feels more like a metropolis street name. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very hoity-toity. Cool.
All right. Good job.
What else you got?
Next one more from me is, all right, so we all know, again, that there's a lot of cities named Springfield, both in the U.S. and probably globally. Who knows? And there are, well, first I'll say, I'm 2 parts is one, how many Springfields are there with pinball on the map? And then 2, I'll tell you which states they're in after that, and you guess which one has the most.
Has the most pinball machines.
Yeah.
I'm feeling really good after that last question. I'm going to spike the ball a little bit. Is that okay?
Okay.
I'm going to say I don't need to know all the states that they're in up front. I think Springfield, Illinois is the most populated pinball, whatever. It's got the most pinball machines.
Bingo.
Don't tell me.
Bingo.
Oh, you see? Oh, okay.
You got it.
Okay. I mean, I'm from Michigan, so Springfield, Illinois is very familiar to me. How many pinball locations are in a city called Springfield? I would guess it's something like 75.
Unfortunately, it's less than that. It's 34.
34. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. So how many Springfields?
How many distinct cities of Springfield have pinball machines?
Yeah.
Wait, didn't you just say it was 35?
No, that was distinct locations at Springfields.
Oh, I see. Okay, so if that's 35, I'd say I think there are 6.
Yeah,
Springfields.
there's 6.
Are there really 6?
Yeah,
Whoa.
there's 6.
What am I doing here tonight? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Am I sharing my screen? You seeing my...
No, I promise. I'm not looking. I'm
Right.
just thinking really hard about Springfield. I have a quiz for you. It has nothing to do with pinball.
Oh.
These are just invasive thoughts that I'm trying to get rid of.
Okay.
Do you want to help me work through that?
Yeah, let's work these out.
I also feel like one of these 2 things I'm about to ask you about is a viable multi-million-dollar startup, like software startup. When we start talking about it, you may remember me ranting about this in the past, but don't give the actual idea away. I'm looking for something else here today. All right. Anyway,
Okay. All right.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I've been thinking about words that are I'm trying to think of specific situations that I can picture very clearly in my head and see relatively frequently, but I don't know what the word for that situation is. Like for example, like say you stubbed your toe on the door every time you wore a sweater. or something. Like that doesn't happen, obviously, but that's a very specific situation, but there's no specific word to describe it, right? So I'm going to give you two specific scenarios that I cannot describe in one word or, a couple words.
Mm-hmm.
And you tell me if there is a word for this, and if so, what is it called?
Okay, so I'm not making anything up. I'm just
No.
filling in the
I mean,
blanks.
you can if you want. You can make it up if you want. I just ask that you are clear that you're making it up.
Okay.
Because so I don't walk away pretending I learned something and tell other people. Is that okay?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, all right, here's the first one. There is a phenomenon that I feel, and I have learned that other people feel as well, where you are given a piece of media from a friend, usually a video, like a TikTok video, or a meme, like a funny picture, and the friend that shared it with you wants to show it to you because they think it would be something you would enjoy. However, you've already seen this thing. You've seen it. You don't want to tell your friend that because they're trying to do a nice thing by sharing it. And what are you going to do? Ruin that nice thing for them? But also you wish there was a way that they could know that you already know. Is there a word that describes that feeling?
Just the feeling of it.
Just the feeling. I mean, I'll start throwing a few things out, like ego. There's something about ego here. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
No, I can't think of I mean, it seems like there must be something that maybe it'll come to me in a little bit, but nothing springs to mind.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of FOMO or something.
Yeah.
It's like fear of appearing to not know. Anyway, if you can think of a word, or if anyone listening to this can think of what that word is, don't make up some word unless it's really good, and then tell us that you made it up. But let me know. Anyway, okay, you ready for the other one?
Sure.
All right, this one is very specific, and it might sound kind of silly, but I think it's really a thing. When I fired up Audacity to start recording this podcast today, they told me that there was a new version of Audacity that was available to install. But I'm so nervous about the quality of the recording being poor that I'm willing to never upgrade Audacity again, just so that I know exactly what to expect. However, I recognize that people who operate this way with software end up susceptible to like viruses or malware. I don't like 0-day exploits, whatever it is that exists these days. And I think that people, like, they understand that they're at risk. They just don't care enough to upgrade. It's not that I'm lazy. I'm making a very conscious, pained decision to not upgrade. What is this called?
I mean, it's not like blissful ignorance or anything. You're choosing to disregard what any of these risks may be in order to be comfortable and stable.
I bet you there's got to be a word for it outside of software that describes the like understanding that you should change, but you're unwilling to because you're so comfortable and afraid of what might happen if you change something. There has to be a word for this.
Yeah, I feel like we get that. We get that from like, sometimes people will contact us on the app and they're using a really old version. I'm like, update it, please. And they're like, I don't like updating apps because things will break. And it's definitely a thing I notice other people experiencing. Not, they don't want to update the OS because like the interface changes and stuff like that. And they like how it is now, and they don't want the risk of something changing that they can't undo.
Yeah, OS, I bet people are afraid that it's not going to reboot afterwards, Okay, well, you don't have the word?
I don't have them.
Okay, all right. Let's leave it out there in the open as well. But I do think there has to be a word that describes this, like crisply.
Yeah. I mean, I think the joke would be, I'm sure there's a German word that, says it, but...
I'll take it. I'll take the German word, honestly. I'm fine with that.
All right. I bet someone who speaks German will help us out here because
Okay, cool.
there's a lot of very particular words.
All right.
That's it. That's all we had.
That's it. What's up next for you? What are you going to do for the next month or so?
I think I might. I don't know. We were thinking of maybe going out of town for Thanksgiving, maybe going to Idlewild, but not so sure if we can pull it together. That's just like a mountain town near here. Actually, really close to Palm Springs. Have you ever been to Palm Springs?
I'm going to Palm Springs next week.
You kidding me?
For the first time ever. No, I'm very serious about this.
Yeah.
I'm going Wednesday. Yeah. Oh, sorry. What else are you doing? I have big news, but I want to hear your news.
I don't know. That's it. I just kind of coast these days. I play a lot of tennis. I've been playing 2 to 3 times a week for like 2-hour sessions every time. A lot of tennis.
Wow, that's a lot of tennis. Do you bring a bag with you, like a little tennis bag?
Yeah. I've got a tennis bag that has a couple rackets in it and a couple sleeves of balls, like various replacement overgrips in case I need to re-grip my racket. Other odds and ends in there. Little croquis to keep my glasses on in case I need that.
Oh, man. Send me what your croquis are. I'm really curious what you use. Any snacks in there? Any water?
Water, yeah. These days I do water and I put like electrolyzer powder in the water. Because I have an issue with cramping on my right calf. So I'm trying to keep that at bay as I play and just, we play just enough to like finish our water. We take maybe 1 to 2 breaks while playing and chug during that time. But yeah, that's it.
Do you try to keep your opponent running? Like keep them moving?
I mean, we only rally. We don't compete and play matches. So we almost just like do what the other person wants in a way, where we will hit to forehands for a while, and then we'll say, let's do some cross court shots, and then we do cross court backhands for a while. So we're almost like training each other as we do it. Sometimes maybe if it's early on, we try to have the other person fly back and forth across the court, but it's almost bad taste, bad form to make them work too hard for it. You
Sure.
want the other person to be able to be in good positions to return, and you want to have nice rallies. Nice rallies is the overall goal.
You never play against each other, like for points, 15 love?
No, we never do.
Wow, it just never comes up? Neither one of you bring it up?
Yeah, no, it just never comes up. I've had it's weird. It's kind of, I've had different partners over the years, and some of those partners are partners that you play matches against a lot, and then some are ones that you never do. And it's just I kind of will do whatever the other person wants to do usually with that stuff. But I'm definitely just happy rallying. I think the only downside of it is that we don't practice serving because we're just rallying.
Cool.
So what's special with you? Or what's your big news?
Yeah. What's special? Palm Springs, that's big for me. I've never been there. But also I got my ski equipment.
Oh,
I'm going skiing, baby.
Wow.
Yeah, never done it ever. So I have a little pass where I get 3 different lessons, and then I get to ride on the beginner trails.
Cool.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you're taking lessons. Lessons is the really important thing to do when you're learning.
People can die on skis. I don't like that part. I really feel like this could seriously injure me, and I don't usually feel that way about physical activities.
Yeah. Just, one, don't hit trees. I feel like that's where a lot of people get hurt. And, you won't. You're just in the open. And first thing you'll learn is the little wedge stop thing. So you'll learn how to stop.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. But I'm really excited to start doing it.
Yeah, it's fun. I've only snowboarded recently. And, maybe I'll ski this winter. I don't know. But
all right.
Cool. Have fun.
Well,
let me know.
Yeah. Thank you. It was good to talk to you. I'll let you know how Palm Springs is. I hope Idlewild is great if you get to go there. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful life. and I've enjoyed knowing you.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure. I've
Okay.
enjoyed knowing you too these many years, and I hope someday I could talk to you again.
Yep. I share your hope. Okay, Ryan.
All right.
All the best. Bye.
Bye.